Hey, Fitzy here, back at it again with another one. Back on crusty, got more tin work done. On this one here, we're going to be bending metal without a brake. Just using what we got around the shop. Stick around. Back on old crusty, the Toyota. In the last video, you saw me made the outer section of the wheel tub, okay? I got that all done, I got it installed, and I turned around, I got this all ready, but I'm not going to install it yet. What I got to do is I got to go ahead and build the other side. Now, it's the same thing all over again, okay? So I went ahead and built the other side. I got all the other side built. Was a bit tedious and everything because I used everything from this side here to make templates for this side here. I used all the cardboard templates, everything. Just a little discrepancy difference in both sides. Nothing you're going to see, okay? But I didn't want to bore you with the same thing all over again, okay? I turned around and started off by just duplicating this piece right here and making this piece the same as this one here. And I test fit this one over here to see if it worked, and it fit really good. So I was happy where everything went to. And then once I got two of these here that built the same and they were laid side by side and two of them looked the same, then I started building the inner tub and I went from there. And everything was built off this center piece here on this side here, and I just went from there. I just used templates like I did before and made up a flat piece of steel, made the loop to go up around it, all that type of stuff, put the strip up through the middle here. I had to rebuild this corner here. One thing I want to bring up, after you turn around, you build one item, okay? And you have to duplicate it to build a second item. Try not to overthink it to the point of trying to find better ways of doing it, okay? Remember how you made this side here. Any mistakes that you made, my advice to you is to make the same mistakes over here. And that way, because you know how you had to fix it. The problem you got is when you make a mistake over here, okay, and then you come over here and you improve on it, you don't make that same mistake, this and this is not going to look the same, okay? I had an issue here where it pulled tight on this corner here and it wouldn't fit properly because I had all this welded up. I did the same process as what I did over here. I knew it was going to happen, okay? I got to weld a little strip in along here now to get that right. I knew if I turn around and I fit this right nice up against this panel and made this wider here and got it all fixed up, the problem I was going to run into is this here was going to look different. But you look here now and look at this seam here, the way this sits up against the chassis rail, it's the same on this side here, okay? That's what I wanted to duplicate. Everything was done the same way, even the mounting points where I mounted everything, okay? So, you know, just remember that when you're going to, don't try to improve on something if you're building a second of something. Just remember what you did and just duplicate it regardless of how much you've probably fooled it up or whatever, but you're happy with what's there, okay? Unless you're going to rework this one here, don't overthink it, okay? Just repeat the same process over on this side here. Now that I got all that done, I can't go install them yet. I still got to weld the inner tub to the strip, but I'm not worried about that. I'm going to haul these out of the car. What I got to do now is I got to go ahead and finish off the floor sections up here. I got to get these put in because the wheel tub rests up against this here. And I want to put the wheel tub against the floor pan. You'll never get the floor pan tucked in behind here because I want the floor pan to come over and tuck down here, okay? These sections here are going to lay up against it here. We'll get into that later. But I want to build this large section here, this section here, and then basically down as far as here. I'm going to build it back as far as the tub. The reason why I'm not going to do none of the back yet, because I got that spring hanger back here that I got to figure out exactly where it goes, and I got to build a frame around it that I can put it into so I can build the floors around that frame section. So I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to finish off everything back to here. I want to get the floors done, get the wheel tubs installed, get these front sections all completed up, okay? Get all this section down here done as well. It's going to be complicated going down there. We'll get into that when we get to it. But for now, I'm going to build this panel here, this panel going back through here, and coming back down over this ledge here, put some nice beads in it, and have it done. So let's get started. Now here now going through all my steel. This is the last of it. All I got of this stuff here is what I got left in here now. I went out and took everything out of the van. And the killer with everything is that I'm cutting these pieces out, and they're killing the sheets is what they're doing. The problem I got is I need something that's 34 inches wide. These are only 30 inches this way, okay? So I got to do it that way. So I've been sitting down here now going through my sheets of steel, figuring out where I'm going to cut the pieces off and get them done. So this is the first one. This is the one that goes up behind the seat. And I got it marked out as 20 by 34 and an eighth or something like that. And I got that marked there now, and I'll go ahead and get that cut out. So here's where I'm to. I went and got into this, and you start figuring out, and you got to really be thinking hard, so you just got to concentrate on it. I got the piece cut out. I got it all sanded on both sides. I turned around and I cleaned off my edges here, and then I went and marked off this line here. That's going to fall over that way. This line here is just going to be a slight bend. This will be on the top edge. Over here, this line here will fall over this way. Right here, I got it cut out. This is where the roll bar comes down here. So this is going to cut out here. And I'll probably have to trim that up after. But that's the way I got that done. So that should fit in there. Right here, then I got the beads done. And I got this set up to make sure that my bead roller will fit in there. The only thing with it is I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to do 3 beads on either side. And I'm going to have to turn my dies backwards to do the 3 beads this way. Because I'm not going to be able to come in from this side here on these ones here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to flip my dies backwards, and then I can do the opposite side. So I got that all set up there now, and I'm happy with all that there, where that is there. I'm going to continue on with this design throughout the whole car. Usually you try to follow something along them lines, and I'm kind of liking what I got done, so I'm going to keep them there like that, and I'll keep going with that design. So I'm going to dig out the English wheel now, and the bead roller, and get these done. So here's where I'm to. You just saw me run this through the English wheel. I got all these sections here all raised up. You can see there's a big crown on the panel there now. So what I got to do here now is I put a bead on this side and a bead on this side here going right along here. The problem I'm going to run into here is that because of the distance from here to here and the throat on my bead roller, I can only go halfway, okay? That's as far as I can go with the beads here. Now the problem with this, when I beads this side here, I got to bead this side here. So what I got to do is I got to come over here and I got to put the beads on backwards for this to work. I'll put one bead on one side with the beads set up like this, and then I'll take these off, turn them around backwards, put them on, and that'll give me the bead for the other side. I'm going to swap 2 of these around, set them up, put a little bit of a step on them there, keep an eye on the step itself. And then I'm going to start, do a little bit of test bead on them, and then make sure I'm happy with it, and then start bead rolling these. So now I have the bead on the bottom, turn backwards, the bead on the top, turn backwards. So now when you look at the beads this way here now, this is what you're going to get, okay? This is what I had the other way, when you run the bead the other way. And when you flip these around the other way, this is the bead you'll get. You flip them around the way they are now, you'll get this bead here, and you'll end up with the step that I'm after. So let's get some beads done there now. I just noticed this, just look at it from the back side, you can see how much stretch. You can see all the stretch that I got put in all the bead sections. And you do that to help to get the warpage from going into the panel. As you can see now, this is all warped up. Hopefully now when I beads everything out of it, this will come flat again. So now every time I'm running beads, one thing I never ever point out is right here. See this line I got put right here? When that lines up with the bottom of the actual wheel, the lowest point on the wheel, that's my stop and start point. So you can see there now, that's almost set up there now. Probably got to go over a small bit more. There you go. So that's my start point, and I'll roll it through till I seize this line again right in the middle of the bead, and that's where I'll end my bead each time. So I got all the one side done on this side here, and I flipped the board around now. Now I'm doing the other three on this side, same process. Just I'm doing this side here all the way around. I can just size it up. I can do this one, but I'm not going to bother with it because it's going to be extremely tight in here. So I'm just going to do what I said I originally was going to do. Anyway, we'll just get these beads done. So I flipped around the dies, you saw me there. Now I'm going to bead the beads on the other side. So I got all them done on that now. You can actually see the beads there now. Now I just got to do the ends. I had a 50-50 chance of getting that right. I got to flip them back again. I should have started with this one and then with the other one. I don't know what I was thinking there. So, but I got to flip it around now so I can do these end ones. Because I want to step down like this here. And it's not going to work on that one there because it'll step it up, right? So, I'll flip that around. Get these ends done. There you have it. One finished panel. So now I gotta put some bends in it. I gotta put the 290s on the end of it. I gotta cut this section out here, and I gotta bend this end here on a 45. So let's get this set up. I'm gonna cut the corners off of these here first on 45. All I ever does with these here is I cut some straight on the line through that 45 through there, and that way you got room to make your bends, okay? So then I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna bend this one first, then that one down there, and then this one here, quite possibly I'm gonna have to do by hand, but we'll try it out in the bender, see if it'll work. So let's get them bent up now. Yes, go on. Got it. There we go. Yeah. So I got all the bends put in it, all the way around. I got the top one in it. I wasn't thinking I was going to have enough in there to bite on that, but I got it. I got the bend put in it. So now what I got to do now is I got to cut these out. I'm going to cut out the square, and then I'm just going to take the grinder and grind this around here like this here, and hopefully it fits. So I'm going to go ahead now, get that there all cleaned out on both sides, and that'll finish off this panel. So I'll get them cut out. So I got them all trimmed out. Ooh, look, made a mistake. That's nothing. I'll cover that over with seam sealer. Won't see it. I went in and on a quick test fit. I had to bend these out a small bit to get them to fit in there. But I got the panel to fit. I was amazed that this was going to fit. It fit pretty good. Down here I found it was still a bit long, and I want to cut the corners off it. So I'm going to trim this up. I'm going to take about that much off the entire bottom of this here. Trim up these corners here. And then get these all prepped and ready for some plug welds along here and along the front here as well. Get them all set up, just have it so the panel is ready to put in, and well, I'll have that panel done. So got it all done. I went and stripped the ends of it here, and then I went and poked some holes in it with the hole punch tool, and I cleaned off the edges, punched some holes in along here as well. Then I went over it all with a Scotch-Brite, the Scotch pads, give it a quick rub inside and out, clean everything up. Now that's ready to put in. Also cleaned off this edge up here, because I got to weld to that later. But let's get that fit in place there now. That's fitting in place. See how it fits around the roll cage. I'll pull on the other side as well, how it goes over the top edge. Got a lip on the top there now, lay the top panel on. And then it'll weld on down across there. Right there like so. It's a little bit of a bow in it there. That's minor. And of course then she'll weld in on the sides here. A bit dark down there, but you get the point. Right. So that panel is ready to go in. What we got to do now, the problem I got with all this here is I got to make all these panels and have them ready to go, because I need to make all the side sections first. And what I want to do is I want to build the big panels first so that I know what metal I got left. And because my main concern is building the two panels. This one up here now, I'm going to try to build this one in one piece. This is going to go back and tip down. I'm not quite sure yet what I'm doing with the fuel tank back here. I might sink it back into that a bit, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. I'm just going to come straight down to here and put a ledge on it, coming out here, and that's where that panel will end there. So I'll find a piece of steel, and I'll take a few measurements, and up and over that one will go. So I got it marked out here. I think it's about 29 or something. I'm going to leave it full length of it. I'm just going to trim it off and use the whole panel, and then I'll put a bend on the end of it and just leave it going into the trunk or whatever it's going to do with it, and I'll trim it off after. This is the last sheet of this stuff that I got. Look, very last one of them. I got a bunch of pieces over there and a piece here, and that's all I got left of this white stuff. But there's more than enough here now to do the rest of the trunk, but this is the last big piece that I had in order to get that panel out of it. And every other panel on that other than the trunk floor is smaller, so I should be able to size that up. I should size up another piece. This piece here might work for the trunk floor. It's got to be 34 though. Ooh, gonna be tricky, gonna be tricky. Anyway, not gonna worry about that right now. Get this cut off. So I got a lot going on here. I got the piece all cut out, got it all trimmed up, and then I measured it up. I got an inch left on each side. That'll be the bent over lip on both sides here, okay? This here, what you're looking at this here now, you're in the trunk here now. This is the piece that goes up, and then that goes forward that way to the other panel there. And this piece down here, this little lip here, is flat on the bottom, and then she turns up from there. I'm not going to put no beads or nothing in this here, okay? Because I don't know, I might cut this out yet and slide the gas tank back into it so I can get some more room in the trunk. Up here now we're on the upper landing. This is a bend right here, okay? I got it all notched out, marked. You can see where I got them marked here and the marks. All this here stuff will be cut off. All this here on the bottom will be cut off. Same one up here in the top corner, I'm cutting that out as well. What I got done here now, this is the bend. So this is the bend, this is coming up, now it's going forward. It's going forward this way here, up to the front panel. Now the problem I'm running into to putting beads into this is that I got to close off the driver's compartment to the trunk, because the fuel and the battery and everything's in the trunk. And the back dash comes down on an angle. It's about right here somewhere, and then it comes down on an angle. And this is where it's going to meet to, right here where this line is to. Right along here. So this much of it here will be in the car, and this much here will be in the trunk, okay? This will be a landing in the back of the trunk, and this will be behind the seat, okay? The problem I got is the distance from here to here is so short that little tiny short beads won't look right. So I figured I'll put a couple of beads in it going this way, much the same as I got done on the rear floor underneath the seat. I got a couple of beads going that way. So I figured that'd be fine to have them up there like that. And I put one in the trunk right here, in between here because of this here, and that's the extent of that. So I only got 3 beads to do on this side here. What else? Up here I'm also going to put a lip, like that 1-inch lip that I usually put on them, because I want to have a bit of strength on the end of this panel here. So I got a couple of beads that I got to run on this here, and so I'll get the beads run, then I'll get this all cut off. I'm going to make this bend here in the bender, this bend here in the bender, but these here I think I'm going to have to bend manually on the angle iron, because this here will be shaped then and you won't be able to do nothing with that there. I thought about bending them first and then trying to bend these here, but this is going to be a nightmare. This is the bend that I like to have looking nice. Not so much worried about here on the edges like that, right? So I'm going to go ahead now, set up the bead roller and get the bead put on the front up there, the little stepped lip, and then I'm going to turn around and start putting the beads in it. So I got the fence put on there now, and I got it set up for the actual first step when I'm just going to ride that right along there. And I got the two dies closer together to put a different style of step on it compared to the actual bead itself. Go back to swapping around the dies now and do the other side. So I got them all done. As you see what I had done there, it was tricky to get them. It was a big panel. Try to get down to go the full length of them there like that. But I'm happy with it now. What I'm going to do here next now, I'm going to start trimming off all these pieces here and getting it ready so I can actually get it bent up. Can cleave all that off down there, cut that off there, and cut that corner off there, same way. So then I can actually start making my bends here and here, and that way then all I got left to do then is fold my ends over. So I'll get this all cut up here now. So there you have it. I got it all trimmed up. At the end, cut off it. And now it's all ready now to be bent up. So I got my first bends put in there. That one there and that one there, they came out nice. Now what I got done, I got my I-beam taken out. And I got another piece of I-beam, the small piece of I-beam laid in there for that to rest on. So that there's it's a level playing field. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this out to the edge. And dug out a couple of pieces of angle iron that I can actually clamp on here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to slide it out to the edge, clamp it on a couple of places, then hammer that up into this here. And that'll be the bends going for this side. That's all I'll do. I'll get the rest of them bent up the same way. I'll come back, I'll have all them lips done. You see I got all the bends put on it now. And you can see why I cut these corners like I did. Right? Because that's when it comes up, because when you bent it around the corner there. You can see now I got nice lips bent all the way around them there. I got the bead across the front here. Spot weld tool. I got my bead rolls in there. And this goes off the back. And then I got my lip for the back side. So I'm going to go for a test fit now before I start cleaning this up. Make sure everything's going to fit all right. We'll see what that's like. I can honestly tell you, I didn't think that was going to fit in there. But that's fit pretty good. All in places there and along the edges. The roll over lip. Up across the front here. It's fitting pretty good. You can see the beads there now. And the way that this panel here now is going to come down from here. This will come down, go to about that line there in a straight line here. So this will be in the car, this will be in the trunk, right? Because all this is going to be closed in across here. And all this will be all closed in, so there'll be nothing in the driver's compartment. I got to close in all these holes and all that type of stuff as well. I was going to cut the works of it out of it, but the hinge mechanism is there and the spring mechanism is right there for it. So I'm just going to put pieces in there and fill this one in, whatnot. And same with the other side, and just build a new frame to go right across here. It'll go down and close that off, because I'm going to put a cover over that, much the same as like a rear dash cover anyway. So, but that's that in place there now. I just got to clean that up now, put some spot welds and everything in it, and get that ready. Once that's all done, then we can move on to these ones down here. So I went ahead and put all the holes in there, grinded off all the lips down here, got all the plug welds put in it, cleaned that off there. Then I went back then and I hand sanded it all with a red Scotch pad on both sides, get that all done. So that panel now is ready to install. I cannot install this panel or the other panel as of yet, because now I got to get on to making the side panels in front of the wheel wells. They got to be installed before I put these in. So 2 of them are made. Now it's time to move on, make the other panels. Next on the agenda now are going to be panels that got to go in here. Now I'm building a box unit that's going to come out to about here somewhere, so I got access to wrenches and whatever in here, so I can change my leaf spring height if I ever wanted to underneath the car. I don't want to have tight quarters in there, so I got to build a box around this here to come out and go down big enough that I can probably put like a ratchet and a stubby wrench or whatever in there type of thing, give you a bit of room to work. But I got to come all the way up to about here with a piece of metal that goes straight down. Okay, it's very complicated for me to explain it because I want it to follow this body line here, come up here, and then go straight back. Okay, so what I was sizing all this up, looking at it all, I said to myself, Tony, make a template for that. So I'm going to go ahead, build a template for that piece there, so I can know what I got cut out of a piece of steel, and we'll go from there. So you can see now I made a little cardboard template. It comes across the top, disappears in behind the wheel tub here, and you can see that it continues on down into the wheel tub. In here in the wheelhouse, you can see the way it will be cut. It'll shape to the wheelhouse itself. I got to build a piece under the wheelhouse there. Then it goes down and steps around the box here. You see the way that is there. So now I got a template for that. I'll test fit it on the other side to see if it's the same, and then I got something that I can actually start making something from. So I got the template. You can see the way it's shaped here now. This is cut out for the roll cage. This goes down by the front floor. This is the way the frame rail comes up and kicks back. This is up in the wheel well. This is the top of the back rail. What I got done then is I took a scrap piece of steel. Recognize this piece? I used it for cutting out the wheel tubs, so I don't make use of all the metal I got. So I marked it all out like I did here. I got it marked out. Then I come over here and I add an inch all the way to this edge here. I want to put a tab on this saw here that I can bend up. This will be a flap that I can actually lay a piece of metal on top of. Because when I build the box, I want something to weld to, and this is what I'm going to be able to weld the box to. So I got this here now. I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. So here's rod 2. I got the piece all cut out, cleaned it up. I got the cut along here. I got it marked here, and I marked here for my bends. So now I got to bend these lips up. All I'm going to do is clamp it onto this here, and bend it that way. And I'll repeat the same process here to get them done. And there you have that panel made. You can see now I got a platform to lay the box on. Going up along here. Let's go over and test fit this now and see how close I am. That fits in there pretty good. Up along there. It's a little bit overhang out here. I got to trim it off a small bit here. Round out these few little edges here. That panel is ready to install. Just put a few plug welds in along here now. And I can get that welded on. So I got the other one made as well. So I got 2 of them made here now. Both were prepped. I got to sand this one. That's all I got to finish this here. But I got it all prepped, ready to go. And now that I got them done, I can install these. I come over here and I installed them. And then I went ahead and I marked them. And then I come in and I grinded all the paint off where the spot welds are going to go. Then what I went and did is I hauled all the wheel tubs and everything out of it. So now I can start welding, and I can weld these panels in and these panels here in, and they'll be done. Because they all got to go in before the wheel tubs goes in, and I only needed to make this panel up before I could put them on, because I don't need no other panels back here. So I'm going to go ahead now, clamp them panels in place and start getting them welded in. And there it is. Both of them panels are in. I never bothered to go through doing a lot of videoing on this because I had crawling around this here and it was just so much work. I just wanted to get it done. I'm spending a lot of time on this here. A lot of time spending grinding and getting everything prepped and everything. It's all the same welding as always. Just plug welds, grind off the welds, plug weld, grind off the welds. I'll do more of that later, but I just want to get this done. This is a bit of a tangle getting in out the back of this. Oh my, and I'm not young anymore. But anyway, I got that done. I got the sections built down here on the sides. Both of them are built there now. All that there is permanently mounted in the car, and it's permanently grinded and sanded off. So that's all prepped and ready to go. Next thing now is to do the wheel tubs. They can go in now. But got to do some extensions on the front of the wheel tubs to come down to this here. And I got to build boxes, sections all down here. So in the next video now, I say I'm going to be extending the wheel tubs and getting them welded in, getting them welded together, and just start working on getting these boxes and everything built here. That's another big job, right? But we're getting through it anyway. It's just that I'm spending a lot of time looking at this because I'm not 20 anymore. And I can honestly tell you, I've been at this all day today trying to get this finished up, and I am broke up here. So I'm not young, but that's it. I still enjoy it. Would be nice if I had this up on my ramp, I can tell you that now. If I had that up and running. And a lot of you don't know, I've been at that, trying to get that glued up, trying to finish it up. And I got to go get some whole lines and everything the week for it, but I got the main frames all done, ready to go. And so just a matter of getting that all put back together, get that running. And if I had to have this on that ramp, it would have been right nice to be able to walk in around and underneath the bottom of it to work on stuff. But hey, that's it. You make do what you got. But anyway, that's it for this one. I hope the tips were good. And until next time.